One of the main reasons why we have done these transplants from the Panhandle to the Trans-Pecos is to try to boost these populations and to keep as many adult animals on the landscape as possible for when we get the really good years where we can build back from fawn recruitment. And some of these areas, like the herd in Marathon, we have 4 herd units over there, and one of the herd units was down to like 50 animals. And in 2013, we released another little over 100 animals into it. And since then, that herd has been anywhere from 300 to 600 animals. So we think that that herd would have just kept diminishing and didn't have enough animals to build back. So when just in, I guess, basic population dynamics, numbers make numbers, and you've got to have enough animals out on the landscape to stop decline or to maintain a stable population. But ultimately, when these areas are so low and the habitat can support many more animals, you want the population to grow. And that's what we've been doing. Another aspect of that on the very first translocation is really using those animals to figure out what the hell was going on. And we did learn because we had a lot of them die. Our first translocation wasn't, in terms of survivability of the animals that we transplanted, wasn't as successful because I think our mortality rate was like maybe 80% of the animals that we translocated died. We learned a lot from those animals. And then every translocation since, it's pretty much a flip flop. We see our survivorship around probably average, I would say 75 to 80% a year or two after our initial release of those same animals. So our first translocation was in 2011, and that was terrible, 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 terrible drought conditions. That was our first mistake. We were hopeful that the drought wasn't going to happen, but it did. That was number one. Number two is fences were a huge problem, and we didn't do anything to address fences. Number three was predation. We didn't do anything really to minimize predation on the naive animals that we were putting out there. They need a little help there the first year or so before they really get to know their habitat and their area that they're living in.